Are you ready to follow the white rabbit? So that's... Hello, my name is Patrick. I, Patrick, have been sent here on my mission to show you, the subscriber, what it is that I do, and how it is that I do what it is that I do, over and over. Yeah, there's a lot that I do. As you can see behind me and around me, it's not just nostalgia, it's a collection of memories that have turned into a collection of traits and a collection of habits and a collection of hobbies. This channel will discuss the hobbies, the collections, and sadly, the addictions. This channel is Desert CRX Builds. Welcome. Now, for some more serious business. What got me into cars? Cars? I don't know. I've always loved cars since I was a little kid, like before I was 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know. I grew up with car posters in my room since I was a baby, so I've always been into cars. It just was more so fine-tuned to Hondas when I was, however old I was when Fast and Furious came out, 16? Yeah, because I was into everything. American Muscle, I love me a good old Charger and good old Shelby GT500. Yeah, fastback, just like in Gone in 60 Seconds. It wasn't until Fast and Furious came out and I saw, even though it was mostly Hollywood, what was capable out of these little 4-cylinder cars that I had judged and talked so much down upon. So, of course, my first car was an 87 Civic. But at least it was a 5-speed, so couldn't really argue on that. But having the 87, nah. I would totally do it again, but the only thing that sucked, 88 and up, you have to understand at the time, 88 and up, that's what the part cutoff list was for any kind of aftermarket parts, anything you can find for these old school Hondas, back in 2000. So yeah, they're only 10 years old back then, and you still couldn't hardly find anything because no companies made them. Now, 2025, Passport, Hush, they all service and make parts for the first gen CRX and the previous gen to the EF Civic. So, yeah, needless to say, everything I had to do was custom designed, custom fabricated, and had purpose. Alright, I'm not going to go into too much detail before I got the car. But essentially, I moved in with my guitarist Matt at 2008, 2009. And we started our own band, of course, again, because we were living together. And we're both musicians and we've been playing most of our life together. And his neighbor had a CRX for sale. It was a yellow SI and I was like, you need to get that car. I don't care what it takes, that car needs to become yours because his car was letting him down. His car was failing him on every Accord. Oh, because that's what it was. It was a 93 Accord. But it was a 10th anniversary edition, so it had special parts that you couldn't find on any car or any parts shop. So I told him, invest $1,000 and buy the CRX. And he did. Matt got the CRX, and he loved it. And he drove it to California and everywhere, and this and that, everywhere, daily driver. And then he got tired of the yellow, because Matt's not a yellow person. So I explained to him, Matt, this is not just any CRX, this is a Y49 Barbados yellow, super rare CRX. I told him, this car is sought after just because of its color. He's like, I don't fucking care. He's like, I don't care. I want to paint over it. Okay, Matt, I'm just making sure you're aware. So I helped him sand it all down, prime it all up. It was a white CRX for a while. Then he blew the motor, Then we budget built swapped it back with the 96 Y7 and converted it to OBD2. Yeah, that was before I bought it. So when I bought it, it had 360,000 miles on the shell, 50,000 on the swap since it was put in. Reliable ass car that it was. I drove it around for 2 years, no problems. Only thing the problem was for me, it was too slow. But it was still surprisingly fast for being non-VTEC and single cam. So what did I want to do, of course? Put a V20 in it. So I put a V20 in it. And that thing has been perfect. It's a Y49, don't get me wrong. It has a curse, very real, not a hypocrite. I got used to it, like living with the ghost. You just get used to the curse. Random things happen, you just take it in stride. And be like, it could be worse every time. So right now the car's down for a paint job. Before that it was down for a knock. I thought it was a rod knock, but it ended up just needing a valve adjustment because I did the rod bearings and it still had the same tick, and I'm just like, Jesus. But it has new rod bearings now. Fuel pump went out. Well, I thought it was the fuel pump, so I did the fuel pump. Oh, nope, not the fuel pump, still the same issue. Oh, guess what it was? The ECU. Yeah, you just have to know what your car is doing health-wise in order to properly diagnose it. That's how I ended up with that CRX, and I've been treating it like it's my baby ever since. Every part of it, everything I've done to it. Before I even put the V20 in, I gutted it fully, and it was ridiculous fast. And then I put the V20, Don VTEC, LS intake, LSD transmission, that's all you need. No cat, just a muffler. It was straight pipe for a while, but it's obnoxiously loud, especially with it gutted. And I even took the sound deadening out, so it's even more drony. So a muffler definitely helps. No AC, so the Arizona desert, yeah, it sucks. It's like 120 to 135 degrees in that car when I'm driving home. Not fun. One of the reasons why I have my Yukon, but sadly that thing's taking a crap right now. So I'm gonna have to drive the CRX again, but that's not a problem because no content for you for this CRX channel, because this channel is going to be devoted to mostly CRXs, but we're going to have some other content as well. So what I plan on filming, what I plan on doing, I have paint booth, I have powder coating setup I want to do, I have paint job that I'm going to finish, first time using actual gun. This is my setup I just got. Yeah, it's a Ghetto Harbor freight gun. But I got the disposable cap adapter, I got the pressure regulator, I got some 2K clear, got some hardener, got some cups, some stir sticks, I got a kit from Harbor Freight, and then I also got the screens from Harbor Freight, and the only thing I'm literally missing is the mask and the goggles because I like my health, especially right now. This whole channel is also going to be focused on living healthy and living in tune to one's environment. I might sound a little preachy, I might sound a little hippie, because even I think so sometimes. But yeah, I've cut out most refined to all refined sugar. Some sugar I still eat is I might have a piece of licorice occasionally. I had some ice cream yesterday and a coffee yesterday for the first time in 3 weeks. So I'm doing really good considering what I used to be doing, pounding Dr. Pepper after Dr. Pepper, and it's been almost a month since I've had one, and I never felt better. I am awakening to the truth of the reality that we live in. And this is one of the channels, and this is one of the ways that I can channel that energy outwards to a broader audience by spreading knowledge, spreading information, and spreading just sheer joy, because everybody loves seeing these beautiful cars get brought back to life. And considering I went from one CRX to 2 and then 3, yeah, I don't have a problem. I have a collection addiction. The value of these cars are going up. I'm very aware of it. I don't know if any all are, but they are going up. So I'm trying to capture and hold as many as I can like a Pokemon. You know what I'm saying, man? I'm going to give a little tour, but that's in its own video of my backyard. Obviously, I'm going to clear coat the CRX, my first attempt ever with actual paint gun, because I've always rattle canned everything my whole life, and I really want this color to stick. And the fact that I'm going to clear coat over this rattle can it's going to look intense because I plan on putting some lime/green gold metal flake in the clear coat to give it a little bit more zing. So the final rendering of the CRX will be green. But speaking of green, that's the color I've been wanting to paint this car for over a year. This specific shade of green. Okay? Me being motivated and finding myself in this correct state of mind since my health is at its peak. I finally have been able to do the impossible. Y'all are always talking about, oh, I don't have money for this, I don't have this for that, you don't ever get anything because you don't. I treat the word can't and don't as a cuss word. There's no need to say it. All it does is amplify negative emotion and negative energy. When you start amplifying positive emotion and positive energy all the time, good things happen. When you imagine things to the sense to where your subconscious doesn't realize it's not real, it doesn't know what's real or fake. Your subconscious believes what it believes based on your emotions and your internal feelings. So if you say you love your mom, you feel it, you know it, okay? So me wanting to manifest myself to finish my CRX paint job, kept meditating, focusing on seeing a green CRX, a green CRX. That's what I focused on for about 3 weeks of meditating. And it's really hard to do it because it's the desert. It's hot. It's like 110 out, I think, today. I don't know. I stopped looking after 105. It just gets up there. So really, the only time to do anything is after dark or before the sun gets up before 10. I work from 5 to 1, so I have to be up at 3:30 to get ready to leave at 4:30. It's the killer of the day. So that's my lack of motivation. So instead of focusing on the negative and dwelling on it, I focused on the positive and only saw in my mind a green CRX. That's how my conundrum happened. I manifested an extra CRX kind of on accident, and I'm not really complaining because it was an awesome manifestation, and I don't think I could have planned it any better. Halfway through painting and taping up my CRX, it was white. I had to do the whole base coat white. So doing the whole base coat white, almost finished it, then it rained, so I had to pause. The rain destroyed my paper, I had to retape it, blah, blah, blah. Finally, get enough motivation to finish it, and my friend calls me, hey, you want to buy my CRX? I said, sure, how much? And he tells me, disclose price. I can't really afford anything right now. I said, I can give you payments. And he says, oh, payments is fine. I just want to know if you want to buy it before I sell it to someone else. I always want to ask you first. I'm like, kind of a good person to be if you're the guy that gets asked first if you want to buy a CRX, because coincidentally it's happened to me quite frequently and I'm not complaining. So sure enough, he says, I don't care, I just want to get this thing off my property, I have too many cars. Okay, so he brings it over. It's a green CRX. I haven't even touched it yet. I'm trying to finish my project first. The red CRX is a friend of mine, Steven, has a B20 turbo EF sedan. His uncle is the one who got him into Hondas. His uncle has a JDM, I think it's a JDM EF hatch right-hand drive, and then he has a Del Sol, and he had 2 CRXs. So he had a lot of cars, and his wife was complaining. And so he was taking his least valuable car, which was a CRX Shell SI, and he was going to take it to the junkyard. My friend Steven said, hey Pat, do you want any parts off this CRX before my uncle takes it to the junkyard? And I said, whoa, what's wrong with this CRX? And he says, it's wrecked. He says it's scrapped. So he sends me a picture and more pictures and more pictures, and I said, give me your uncle's number. So I contacted his uncle. His uncle says, oh yeah, I was going to get $100 for it, so if you want to give me $100, you can just come get it. I got a clean title CRX Shell with a Carfax that he got from a dealership as a shell. Yeah, And to come find out, this shell's from Hawaii, so even more crazy. But yeah, that's the CRX shell that I have that I'm intending on tearing apart and restarting from the inside out. It still has the rack in it, and the bottom half, I took the steering column out, all the interior stripped. The brake lines are about all that's left. It doesn't have any rear brakes. It's on rollers, car dollies. Needs a gas tank, so it needs a lot of work. I'm going to start right away with a fuel cell on that one, but we'll get into that in time. Yeah, lots of fun things happening in my life right now, and it all goes back to centering yourself with positive energy and believing in one true power, the Almighty Jesus Christ. Now, he was a real person. I'm not an organized religion nut or a religious fan or a religious fanboy. I won't say this all the time. I say it when I feel it, and that's what I say. I have been on a journey my entire life that I just now, in the last 6 months, got a playbook for. I have never even knew what my journey was until I got handed this playbook and started going by it. And so far, following the playbook, this game is awesome. This game we call life is not what anybody even thinks it is. We only use a fraction of our brains. Eating healthy, putting good vibrational food and energy into our body, mental health, meditating can get you satisfaction that no drug can deliver. Maybe for a moment, maybe for a fraction of a moment it can deliver. But to be sustained in that sort of mindset, it's kind of mind-blowing, and it takes you in an existential crisis to where you step out of your 3D realm and you kind of see everything for what it is, and you see who you are for who you are, all your flaws, all your benefits, all at the same time. It's hard to explain, but it happens, and it's a fact. And I've achieved that with meditation, breath work, and introduction of sound waves and vibrations. Thank you, Nikola Tesla. That guy's a genius. Elon Musk, just taking over the reign. He's taking the totem. He's winning in this race now. We all need to awaken as humans. People need to start to come together. And you will all notice good things happen. Energy is energy for a reason. You've all felt it. That one person comes over, you get a bad vibe from, and you find out this guy's an ex-con and a murderer and all that. Oh yeah, that's a real feeling. That's called a guts intuition. We're born with it. We're just taught to suppress it, to follow the agenda. I'm not even going to get into the agenda, but this is my belief. This is what's been working for me, and I decided to share my overwhelming presence of gratitude and joy with the likes of all of you. Pardon me for my Matrix references a lot, because I do believe we're in a coded simulation. Everybody argues whether it's a globe or flat, or Republican or Democrat, or left or right. Yeah, that's how the simulation works. Ones and zeros. Pick a side. You can't one step back and realize for a second that the side's controlled by both puppet masters. Anytime you up your energy, you glitch the simulation. Every time you have a positive vibration instead of a negative one, you glitch the simulation. Every time you choose something good over something bad, you glitch the simulation. Not the simulation as a whole, but the simulation as you're experiencing it, because you can only experience what you can see, hear, smell, or taste, or touch. That is it. Your brain is just neurons of electrical signals communicating. Kind of like the internet. How does the internet work? Magic? Oh, nobody knows. Well, yeah, we know. Same way the nervous system works. Think about that. We are a neural network of nerves, blood, skin, bones. We are an organic machine that, if activated properly, has huge potential. I'm just dipping my toes in the water right now. I haven't even jumped in the pool yet. I just know what it feels like, and it's awesome. So meditating, breath work, sound waves. And that opens up. And you see the world for what it is without the veil. That's all I'm going to say. That's pretty much the end of my talking video. It's been too long already, and I really appreciate you for sticking around as long as you have. If you're really excited, like I am, to see the content that I'm about to pump out, I'm going to keep it to one a week. That's the way I want to do it. I want to have a week in between videos so I have time to edit, plan, and everything, because I'm doing this solo. Just like this life we're living, rolling solo. So with that, I leave a final thought. This is always going to be your world. You have the destiny to control every aspect of it if you can focus it. So, from Desert CRX Builds, have a good one. We're out.